Great, and thanks everyone for joining us on today's webcast, where we'll be discussing how to use PowerApps, Microsoft PowerApps, for some use cases within your organization. My name is Allison Hogan, and I'm joined by my colleague, Austin. Austin and I are business intelligence and analytics consultants here at Thorogood, and we've drawn on our Microsoft and PowerApps experience and expertise to bring you today's presentation. You can also feel free to get in touch with us via our contact details on the screen if you wish to have a longer discussion about today's topic. Our agenda today will start with a brief introduction to Thorogood. We will then be introducing PowerApps to give a background on what exactly the tool is, to answer questions like what does it do and what can it be paired with. We'll spend the majority of the time walking through two specific use cases for how solutions with PowerApps can be used to solve common business scenarios. For those of you who don't know Thorogood, we are an independent, global, professional services firm specializing in business intelligence and analytics strategies, solutions, and services, with a keen focus on our customers. We are a global company with offices in New York, Philadelphia, London, Bangalore, Singapore, and Sao Paulo, Brazil. All of our consultants are recruited and trained in the same way to develop a unique mix of skills, blending business understanding in the form of industry and functional experience with strong technical aptitude and a deep understanding of analytical tools and techniques. We offer a full range of BI and analytics services, including strategy and roadmaps, requirements, design, implementation, and training and support. Our clients typically span 4 data-rich verticals: consumer goods, pharmaceutical and life sciences, banking, and insurance. Our clients are some of the leading organizations in these sectors, and we take a lot of pride in the long-standing relationships we have fostered with some of the names you see here. In terms of the technologies we work with, we are an independent consulting firm, meaning we don't work with one specific technology. We do, however, work and partner with many of the key players across the market in order to provide our clients with the solution that suits their needs. With today's topic focusing on Microsoft, I wanted to spend a minute or two on our relationship with Microsoft. We have been a Microsoft Gold partner for over 15 years, and we are certified for data analytics, platform and collaboration, and content. In addition, we are a cloud platform certified partner. Our partnership really gives us a great interface into the Microsoft development team, allowing for open communication from both Microsoft directly to our customer and feedback from our customers back to the developers. If you're interested in working with us on any of the innovation programs listed on the screen or progressing a Microsoft initiative, please reach out and let us know. The Microsoft BI and Analytics product suite is quite expansive, and only a small portion of the products are shown here on the screen. We've tried to categorize the product in many ways, but feel that grouping them into these 4 categories, reporting, collaboration, data platform, and analytics, helps to best communicate the extensive broad reach that Microsoft spans. Some tools like reporting services or SharePoint are focused on a specific set of functionality in reporting or collaboration. In contrast, other offerings like Power BI and PowerApps have aspects of the platform that fulfill use cases in various categories. These tools can be especially valuable because they can create a seamless, connected approach across the entire suite of Microsoft product. This slide, of course, doesn't cover all of the offerings, and we won't have time to discuss all of them during today's webcast. But if you're interested in learning more about a specific product, please don't hesitate to reach out. And now that we've covered the introduction and Microsoft product suite, I'll pass it over to Austin to begin to talk a bit more about what PowerApps really is.
Thank you, Allie. So before diving into the PowerApps offering, I think it's best to give an introduction into what the Microsoft Power Platform is. So I'm sure many of you are familiar with Dynamics 365 or Office 365 in your organization. So now with the Power Platform, you can unlock so much more potential than was previously imagined. The Power Platform consists of 3 core tools: PowerApps, Power BI, and Flow. So PowerApps gives the user the ability to build apps in hours and not months, and we'll go into this in more detail on later slides. Microsoft Flow is used for enterprise workflow automation. And then Power BI, as I'm sure many of you are familiar with, is a self-service business intelligence tool. Now, what has Microsoft done with these tools is created them to work intelligently and seamlessly with each other. For example, you can easily embed a Power App in a Power BI dashboard, which we'll see later on, or incorporate Flow into a Power App. Now, it isn't just these 3 tools that you see here, but also an ever-growing list of data connectors to pull data into these tools. There's also the Common Data Service for apps as a platform to build your own apps on. So what this setup aims to accomplish is three main groupings for a company's digital transformation. So the first is empowering innovation. So here, everyday users, like developers, are both able to build and customize solutions for their enterprise and add significant value. Now, intelligent enterprise solutions. So this is where you can discover data-driven insights and create automated workflows. And then a streamlined business processes, optimizing day-to-day tasks with modern processes critical to your firm's success. So I wanted to call out the Power Platform because it is important to note that although the tools mentioned can be used alone, when used together, the sum of the whole outweighs the parts. So now that we have discussed the Power Platform, let's shift our focus to PowerApps. So that's the big question on everyone's mind, is what exactly is PowerApps? So in today's world, there are numerous web and mobile applications designed to meet business needs, and it may be hard to find an application that's an exact fit for your organization or create one in a costly manner. So PowerApps was created to solve both these aspects. So now for comparison, what is normally done is a business hires an experienced team of developers to create a custom application which can run up the cost of development and possibly take up valuable time, and not to mention it could be hard for users to adjust or even use the application once it's complete. So one major distinction is PowerApps is meant for everyday users to develop applications to meet their needs without the process of an experienced developer team. It also allows for quick and efficient customization with no coding. This really bodes well in an agile environment. So simply put, PowerApps is an environment for building and using custom business apps that connect your data and allow you to work across both a web and mobile platform, all without the time and expense of custom software development. So the set of tools available for Microsoft's PowerApps are designed to empower the everyday user, to design and build custom apps for your workplace. So when it comes to creating optimized workflows or automating processes, the intuitive drag-and-drop developer tools to help minimize those potential gaps between a business needs and the programmer's technical coding. Users can now build PowerApps to innovate their company and solve unique and specific business problems and allow for greater insight into their data, resulting in more data-driven decisions. So with this tool, you have the ability to customize every detail for your user's experience. On the surface, these apps are an interface for users to interact with in a clean, easy-to-use format. Behind the scenes, the apps can react to trigger workflows, document inputs, ultimately let you be more productive with your business. This ability to easily innovate on your existing procedures enables you to react more efficiently to actions or changes and to integrate previously separated business units. So before we get into our specific use cases, I did want to point out the extensive and ever-growing list that PowerApps is able to connect to and use data from. So you can see here some common data sources such as Excel, SharePoint, and Salesforce, but there are many others not listed here, and the list continues to grow to over 200 and counting. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Allie to give the use case on a sales process.
Great. Thanks, Austin. I'm sure many of you guys are already thinking about potential use cases within your organization, but we thought it might be valuable to share one or two ideas that we've seen from some of our customers and conversations. So I'll start to introduce this use case, and imagine you are a sales rep at a pharmaceutical company. Your company distributes products all across the U.S., and there are thousands of sales reps to take orders, place samples, and keep potential clients informed. The current ways of working involve sales reps having phone calls and meetings with potential clients. This schedule is tracked within a personal Outlook calendar, and additional details like products, samples, and notes are stored in local Excel files. The central team at the home office would collect this information on a weekly or monthly basis and periodically provide email updates to the sales directors on the status of sales for various accounts. Countless hours every week were spent sifting through emails, extracting the individual Excel files, and compiling data into a consolidated report. Sound familiar? This process is complicated, requiring a number of people to communicate over email with no real current view into the sales numbers at a specific time. To complicate things further, whenever a sample was requested by the customer, the brand team needs to sign off and approve the request before the samples can be given. In the current ways of working, the central sales team is responsible for coordinating this approval with the brand team and then relaying this information back to the sales rep. This process can take a number of days, especially when changes are required to the sample request or certain key people are out of the office. Overall, this process resulted in inefficient reporting of the sales information to the sales director, as well as a large amount of elapsed time between the sample request from the customer and the sample being received. So, the sales team recognized a need for improvement and looked to the Power Platform to streamline this process. A simple Power App was created to help the sales rep manage their sales meetings and track product, samples, and comments right within this mobile-friendly application. This information is now stored centrally in an underlying SharePoint site and surfaced through the Power App, giving the central sales team real-time insight into the sales meetings and activities by each of the reps. In addition, a Power BI report was created by extracting the information from the Power App for consolidated reporting and analytics, giving the sales director access to the customer trends and sales information whenever they would like. To help streamline the process for approvals for samples, Microsoft Flow is used to automatically send emails to the relevant brand team members for approvals and comments. This information is surfaced directly within the Power App, giving the sales rep insight into the approval process and any feedback from the brand team. This eliminates the need for involvement from the central sales team and reduces the dependency on Outlook and Excel as the main data stores. With the implementation of the entire Power Platform, sales reps have a central place to view their activity with automated reporting to their director of sales and automated workflow to receive approval for the samples from the brand team. So to help demonstrate this use case, I'll pull up the Power App and do a quick demo of the application. You can see here I've navigated to Chrome browser, and I have my mobile application shown right here on the screen. This was created using one of Microsoft's template applications that is available and piped with my data for my current organization. And as I mentioned, it is mobile friendly for those sales reps that are always on the go. This sales tracking application really has two sections of information. The top part here shows all of my recent meetings with some of my key customers. I can go and look at the details of any of these meetings by clicking on the arrow. And here now I can see the date, the order, if they requested a sample, and what the status is. If I would like, I can go in and edit this item. For example, I know that Amazon is interested in another follow-up meeting next week. So I can type that right here in the comment section, interested in following up on November 14th. And once I hit save, this information will be stored in the underlying SharePoint site, and all of the information would be updated for anyone else who's looking at this application in other forums. If I go back here, I also have the ability to create a new item, and perhaps I can add in a new meeting for an upcoming meeting that I have with Walgreens on November 26th. And I can type in all of the relevant information here as well. The bottom part here is that status that shows the samples that are out for approval. And I can see here that 2 of my customers have requested samples. Target's requested a sample, and this is still pending from Austin. If I click on that, I can see what product it specifically is. And then I can also see that the Amazon sample has been denied by Amanda. Let me look into that in a bit more detail. And here I can see that Amanda made a note that we're only allowed to give 1 case for sample products, but my order quantity here was 2. So really what I can go back here and I can make updates to that meeting, and then that would automatically trigger the workflow within Microsoft Flow and request that approval again from Amanda. So really within this relatively simple Power App gives me really good insight into the meetings that I've had, as well as the samples that are out for approval and the relative status using Microsoft Flow. And so with that, I'll hand it over to Austin, who will walk through another one of our use cases around banking regulations.
Thank you, Allie. So I'm going to dive into a use case regarding the banking industry, primarily around regulatory reporting. So for the second use case here, we're going to be looking at a bank, or particularly an insurance company, and their current process of how regulatory reporting is done and how Power Apps can solve these inefficiencies. So currently, the managing director will notify a team of analysts that the month-end review reports are up. So the analysts will go back and forth with the director on whether or not they should sign off on the data, the visuals are correct, everything in the report is showing as is, and if there are any inconsistencies that do arise, they need to fix them immediately. So the managing director will give his final sign-off for the report and then send it to the regulatory institution. So from this diagram, it shows how Skype Messenger, Outlook, phone calls can be used to notify the director of the analyst's comments or concerns. We can clearly see how there is a lot of room for error with all these different forms of communication. The potential for a missed call or a missed email, not being included or CC'd on an email, and not to mention if one of the analysts updates a report and the others do not know of the update. This is a big concern for a single version of the truth. So one analyst can sign off on one report and the other one's signing off on another. So when it gets sent to the regulatory institution, they're actually getting an incorrect report, and the managing director can essentially be in trouble. So now let's look to see how this process can be improved with PowerApps. So here is our improved case. The analysts now have a Power BI report with PowerApps embedded into it. Here, they're able to comment directly in the Power BI report, making it clearly visible across all those viewing the report that these are the comments, this is what they're signing off on, or if any further investigation is needed. Essentially, this allows for one version of the truth for the analyst commenting. The integration with Logic Apps into the workflow gives the ability for comments from the analyst to be stored in a database for record keeping, and it also gives the analyst the ability in PowerApps to send notifications to the managing director as well as others who are commenting on the report. The managing director can now see that everyone has given a thumbs up, and he can sign off on the Power BI report, thus sending the report to the regulatory institution. So let's see how this would look like in Power BI. I'm going to show a Power BI report with PowerApps embedded into it. So what we're looking at here is a report, and as you can see, there are many tabs on this Power BI report. So we can have convenience, discounter, drugstore, and over here to the right is the PowerApps that is essentially embedded into this report. So what this PowerApps allows is for analysts, such as Eddie here, to comment on the report that we're looking at. So this is dynamic. So you can see now we're on the discounter tab, and we're going to sign off on the discounter report. So here, Eddie actually put in a comment that John needs more info. And now if I'm an analyst, I can go in here to the plus button. I can put in a comment such as, it looks good to me, or I need more investigation as well. Doing that, I can also notify previous commenters, such as Eddie, or notify specific people, such as the managing director, that everything looks good. And then I can submit my comment. Those specific people will be notified, and my comment will be stored in the SQL database as well as in this Power App directly on the Power BI report. Now, if I was, say, the boss or the managing director, and I could come in, I look, everything looks good, my team of analysts have signed off, I can click the sign off, and what that will do is essentially sign off on this specific discounter report, and then immediately send it to the regulatory institution once everything has been approved. So that concludes the demo for today. If you are interested in getting started or have already identified a use case that will help streamline your business, Microsoft has made it easy to get started with PowerApps. As soon as you log into web.powerapps.com, your home screen can show a pre-made template that's already synced up with some of your data sources, customized and deployed. Some of the out-of-the-box options include a help desk and service requests, vacation requests, and checklists, to name a few. PowerApps also provides guidance if you're looking to innovate a blank canvas with a start from blank or start from data template. So now for those of you who are already using PowerApps, there are some new features on the horizon or that are currently been released. So I only have a few listed here, but there are many more that Microsoft has announced or will be announcing. The first is integration with Power BI with PowerApps has been improved with the ability to refresh the report directly from the app. Screen sizes can be customized to match dimensions of your company-issued devices. So as we saw earlier, Ali's app had a mobile feature to it. Next, we have end-user experience has been enriched through improvements with app speed, loading times of model-driven apps, and performance of PowerApps forms in SharePoint. Finally, Microsoft has expanded default theme options to help drive the quick win delivery of apps. Without needing to create custom themes, you can offer users a seamless experience with tools like SharePoint. So there are many more updates expected, so check out the Microsoft website or reach out to us if you have any questions. So thank you for joining us today, and again, don't hesitate to reach out to Ali or I with any questions. Thank you, and have a great day.